Hey, hi, how you doing? This is the Gamertron, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. So, I've finally played Agents of Mayhem, created by the well-known video game developers Volition, famous for creating the Red Faction and Saints Row video game series. Well, Volition are at it again in 2017, releasing a brand new video game, a brand new IP, a brand new franchise, which also happens to be a spin-off of the Saints Row games, Agents of Mayhem. Full disclosure, I've been looking forward to Agents of Mayhem since it was announced last year, and I've been following it very closely. I love new IPs, I'm a big supporter of new IPs, and Agents of Mayhem just had enough crazy, weird, wacky stuff going for it to keep my interest, and now that I've finally played it, I have to say, Agents of Mayhem is a strange game. It's a very abnormal video game. It takes a lot of mechanics and a lot of features and a lot of ideas from a lot of other games and throws them in a genre, in a setting, with a premise that you wouldn't expect. While I would say for the most part Agents of Mayhem has a lot of positive qualities going for it, I know for a fact that this game is not going to be for everybody. Agents of Mayhem, to me, I feel, is going to be a very divisive game for a lot of people. Some people are really going to like what Agents of Mayhem has to offer, while others are going to find it boring, repetitive, and cringy. Well, right off the bat, I'll say I like Agents of Mayhem. I enjoyed my time with it. I have every intention of playing more of it. But throughout my playthrough of the main story missions, the side missions, and just exploring the open world, I'll get into more detail about all that in a second, but as I was playing the game, there are moments where I thought to myself, man, some people are really not gonna like this game. That right there, while that doesn't bug me, I know for a fact that's gonna bug a lot of people. Agents of Mayhem was made for a very specific kind of audience, and not the audience you're expecting. This video game coming from the developers of Saints Row and Red Faction, Agents of Mayhem is a whole new genre for them. Yes, it's a third-person shooter. Yes, it's an open-world game. But the fundamental mechanics, features, content, and endgame are very different from their previous games, but will be familiar to people who have played games such as Borderlands, Destiny, The Division. That's right, Agents of Mayhem is kind of a looter shooter, but it's single player only. Alright, there's a lot of information to unpack here, so let's get straight into it. First off, what is Agents of Mayhem? What's the premise of the game? Agents of Mayhem takes place in an alternate universe to the Saints Row universe, where the Earth has been plunged into chaos by an evil organization of supervillains known as Legion. To combat Legion, the organization Mayhem was formed, consisting of a variety of colorful characters and superhero-esque personalities and individuals. Mayhem is currently investigating the city of Seoul in South Korea for Legion activity. You will play as and unlock a variety of agents with different special abilities, primary weapons, unique aesthetics, and personalities in order to combat the near-endless hordes of Legion soldiers, robots, Legion doomsday weapons, and the lieutenants and leaders of Legion who act as boss battles. Right off the bat, I gotta say, I really enjoyed the premise, story, and characters of Agents of Mayhem. It's very lighthearted, very cartoony, and takes a huge amount of inspiration from, well, comic books, superhero comic books. Agents of Mayhem has origin stories, backstories, love triangles between an assortment of different characters, revenge subplots, over-the-top ridiculous evil schemes, and just really poking fun at itself. I found Agents of Mayhem and its humor to be very funny. Throughout my playtime with the game, I either had a huge grin on my face, was chuckling, or laughing out loud. However, I know for a fact that this humor is not going to be for everyone. The humor in the game is going to turn some people off. It's going to make some people cringe, because at times the humor is indeed obvious. It relies on ridiculous or very obvious setups, sometimes swearing and silly language. Like, this isn't highbrow humor we're talking about here. I have a feeling that if you liked the humor in Saints Row and in the Borderlands games, this may gel with you. But again, the humor in the game's not going to be for everybody. However, whether or not the humor in the game is for you or not, I honestly believe that the characters and the story, the premise presented in Agents of Mayhem is really engaging. I am fascinated by the superhero, supervillain world that Agents of Mayhem is presenting. And because the characters characters and premise are so over the top and ridiculous and out there, anything's really possible. So I genuinely hope that Volition is able to continue the Agents of Mayhem franchise, maybe make a sequel, comic books, animated spin-offs, who knows, whatever. But the characters and story in Agents of Mayhem have me genuinely intrigued and wanting more, and that's a good sign. The actual plot of the game is nothing mind-bending, nothing out there, nothing that's going to make you go, oh my god, that was amazing, that blew my mind. Nothing like that. It's a very typical good versus evil, gotta hunt down the MacGuffin, gotta kill the bad guy type scenario. But again, to me at least, the characters, the dialogue, just the over-the-top ridiculous nature of the story had me entertained and engaged. Except for one bit of the story, which I will get into later in the video when I start talking about specific negatives that really irked me, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Up next, I want to touch upon the graphics and visuals of Agents of Mayhem, and my god, this is a pretty looking game. Going for a cel-shaded comic book cartoony-esque art style, it really works with Agents of Mayhem. Lots of bright and flashy colors, gorgeous character models and environments. The special effects are stunning, especially the explosions. Volition knows how to do explosions in their video games. And the animation, incredibly smooth, versatile, and just so good, especially on the player characters, especially on the agents. All their animations, for combat, for movement, it just looks so fluid and pretty. Agents of Mayhem is a good looking game. I don't think that's anything that's to be argued. The art style that was chosen for the game is used well. The assets and how they are used within the graphics engine are used to great effect. It's just a good looking game. It's a pretty looking game. There's nothing I can complain about or put into a negative light when it comes to the visuals and graphics. Performance, on the other hand, is going to vary depending on your system, on your console, your preferred method of playing video games. I can't really talk about performance of the game on my PC because my hardware is ancient, so it's not a good representation of how the game's going to run on your average or high-end PC nowadays, so I can't really dock the game for poor performance. I did have performance issues, but that's most likely due to my ancient-ass PC and hardware. So yeah, when it comes to graphics, visuals, performance may vary, but art style, visuals, graphics, pretty looking game, good looking game. And now the most important part of any video game, the gameplay. And like I said at the beginning of this video, the gameplay is going to be very divisive for some. Some people are going to love this, some people are going to hate this or be bored by this. If you followed Volition's previous work, you know for the most part, they make third-person shooters. That's their gist, that's what they do. So as suspected, Agents of Mayhem is indeed another third-person shooter from Volition, and it does take place in an open world. However, there are a couple gameplay features that make Agents of Mayhem really kind of unique and stand out from other third-person shooter open-world games. First off, you get to play as 3 different characters at once and switch between them on the fly. There's a total of 12 different Agents of Mayhem to pick and play from, but you can only pick and play as 3 at a time and switch between those 3. And so there's a lot of replayability and experimentation and customization when it comes to picking your agent squad, your 3-man team. Which agents do you want to pick? Which ones suit each other best? Which complement one another? Which ones can you chain and combo their special abilities together to get insane amounts of damage and AoE destruction? There's some characters that are better at longer ranges and have stealth capabilities. There are some characters that are all about getting into the enemy's faces. There are some characters that are all about really utilizing their primary weapon. Others all about using their special ability over and over again. So picking and choosing which agents you want to bring into the field and which ones you want to combo with one another, finding your favorite agents and your favorite agent combinations, there's some genuine fun and replayability to be had with that. And it's genuinely really fun and interesting to replay story missions because thank God you can replay story missions in this game. Huge plus in my book, not enough open world games let you replay the story missions. But it's really fun and interesting to replay story missions with different agent combinations. On top of seeing how you handle the different combat scenarios differently, there's also unique dialogue from each agent in the different story missions. Each one of them has something funny and different to say. Really appreciate that nice little touch there. As for the third-person shooting gameplay itself, it varies from agent to agent. While I found that some agents and their gameplay and their third-person shooting had a lot more meat, a lot more power to it, other agents felt more lightweight and floaty, not much impact when it came both to their special abilities and their weapons. While I found an agent like Hardtack to be really fun to play as his shotgun packs a lot of punch, while I also really enjoy the agent Fortune. Fortune's pistols are really pitiful in terms of damage and that oomph feeling. Meanwhile, her special ability is a lot of fun, and her passive ability, which has her drone, Glory, going around stunning enemies, can be very useful in combat. And then we have an agent like Scheherazade, who's a ninja, and the only agent that's really focused on melee combat. Her sword attacks, her melee attacks they feel great, really meaty, feel like you're tearing the enemies to shreds. There really is a lot of variety, a lot of diversity, a lot of creativity when it comes to the different agents of Mayhem, and the different agents are going to appeal to different people, and depending on which agents you play as, well, it's really about finding the agents that suit you, suit your playstyle, and you find fun to play as. Now, this is total personal opinion I'm about to share here, but I think it was kind of a mistake on Volition's part. Now, I'm not a game dev, and I don't claim to know better than them. This is just my personal opinion, but I really think all of the agents should have been available from the get-go, instead of slowly having to unlock them a few hours into the game. While the first free agents you start with, Hollywood, Hardtack, and Fortune, they're perfectly fine, and I enjoyed all three of them. There are going to be some people starting out Agents of Mayhem who aren't going to find these agents fun to play as, but they may enjoy the latter agents, the later agents you unlock. I really think in order to keep player retention and have new players find their playstyle early so that they keep playing the game and stick with the game, then all the agents should have been unlocked from the get-go, but that's just my personal opinion. I'm not a game dev, and there is a very satisfying and addicting quality to unlocking all the agents and leveling up all the agents, which is something I should get to right now. You see, Agents of Mayhem, and this was a surprise to me, I didn't see this coming, Agents of Mayhem is more looter-shooter than open-world, do-whatever-you-want type game like Grand Theft Auto, Saints Row, that sort of gameplay style. Which is why early on in the video, I compare Agents of Mayhem to Borderlands, Destiny, and The Division. Because for the most part, you're just going to be slaughtering waves of enemies, picking up loot, in this case being money and materials, to purchase and craft upgrades and gadgets, so that you can kill shit more effectively and move up to higher difficulties, keep leveling up your agents, boosting your stats, and going through the grind of collecting everything and hitting max level. If you are a completionist, if you're all about getting collectibles and leveling up, just doing and grinding out everything there is to do and unlock in a game, Agents of Mayhem is a completionist's wet dream. You have 12 different agents to level up, unlock all of their cosmetics and bonus costumes, weapon skins, level up all their abilities and stats. You have a variety of vehicle blueprints, because yes, there are drivable vehicles in Agents of Mayhem to help you traverse the open world faster. There's a huge amount of vehicles to unlock. There's tons of activities to do in the city, mostly consisting of shooting bad guys. As a matter of fact, I should get that out of the way here and now. In Agents of Mayhem, all you are going to be doing is shooting bad guys. Do not expect any sort of puzzles, or intense platforming, or any stealth sections. Agents of Mayhem solely consists of you shooting tons of bad guys multiple times throughout the open world. It's important you know the type of game Agents of Mayhem is, and it's a very odd game that Agents of Mayhem is, because you don't expect this type of game to be single player only, and that's been a point of contention, a real heavy talking point when it comes to this game online, is that Agents of Mayhem is a single player only game, yet it has mechanics and features and content that seemed like they are made for, they were meant for co-op. That Agents of Mayhem was meant to be a PvE game, and not a solo, not a single-player only game. While I love single-player only games, and I'm perfectly content with Agents of Mayhem being a single-player only game, I can totally see Agents of Mayhem also very easily being a PvE game. Getting together with some buddies, picking your squads of free agents, all of you, coordinating your agent combinations, your agent team composition as it were, replaying story missions on the highest difficulties to get the maximum rewards. I can totally see it happening, which is kind of odd that co-op is excluded. It's very odd. I don't think it breaks the game. I don't think it makes the game unbuyable, like some people are saying. I think that's ridiculous. Agents of Mayhem is a perfectly fine single-player game in its own right, but only if you enjoy those looter-shooter type games, and you don't mind playing those looter-shooter type games solo. Overall, when it comes to gameplay, I genuinely enjoy Agents of Mayhem. I enjoy all the different playstyles that the agents provide and combining all their different powers and abilities to work with one another and be super effective in combat. I enjoy killing the enemies in the game, the Legion soldiers and robots. There's a nice variety of enemy classes and types that have you keep your guard up and employing different strategies with the different agents you have. The open world of the City of Soul is nice eye candy. It's a beautiful beautiful open world. It's fun to traverse, but there's nothing really special about it, like say the open world of The Witcher 3 or Skyrim. Fallout 4, this open world, while it's a pretty open world, it really is just a backdrop. It's not really a character. You know how some open world games, they're open world, their environments become kind of characters in themselves? Yeah, Soul in Agents of Mayhem isn't that. It's just a pretty backdrop for all the third-person shooting you're going to be doing. One last gameplay mechanic I really want to touch on. I don't see enough video games do this. A lot of video games have been implementing double jump. Double jump has made a real comeback in recent years, but with Agents of Mayhem, I never knew how much I'd like this until I tried it. Agents of Mayhem provides a triple jump. That's right, you don't just double jump in Agents of Mayhem, you triple jump, and it looks awesome and it feels great. And having this simple mechanic of triple jumping makes traversing the environment, makes traversing the open world just a lot more fun. Yeah, I know it's a little thing, but I really enjoyed the triple jumping in Agents of Mayhem. And for those of you who have played Agents of Mayhem and are wondering what are my favorite agents, what's my favorite agent team comp, it has to be Gat, Daisy, and Oni. Gat because, well, it's Johnny Gat. Who doesn't want to be Johnny Gat returning from the Saints Row games? Oni, because Oni's a fucking badass. And Daisy because, well, Daisy is best girl. Daisy is easily best girl in Agents of Mayhem. I mean, god damn! Look at that ass! Damn, son, don't you just want to deep dive into that? Anyways, moving on to more negatives when it comes to Agents of Mayhem, the things I didn't like. Honestly, they're minimal. This is just personal preference in my case, but I don't like how melee is so limited. Whereas in Volition's previous games, there was a decent variety of melee options. Melee in Agents of Mayhem, outside of the Agent Scheherazade, is limited to just a single melee attack. You can't do combos or use different melee weapons like you could in previous Volition games. That's kind of a disappointment. While the third-person shooting is solid, again, varies from agent to agent, I would have liked if each agent had just a few more melee options. Also, in terms of gameplay, I don't like how some special abilities and ultimates from certain agents can be cancelled out and wasted if you switch to another agent at the wrong time. It really bugs me when it comes to this specific agent, Jewel, who can deploy a turret, which is great for controlling aggro, dealing extra damage, etc., but as soon as you switch to another agent, the turret disappears, kind of limiting some of its use. And there's examples like this for all the agents. While you can combo the different agents' abilities and ultimates, the game can be very picky sometimes in how you do that, when and where you do that, and that can mess up some of your strategies and combos you were going for. On top of that, I find Agents of Mayhem has some real hard difficulty spikes. You see, in Agents of Mayhem, there are over 10 different selectable difficulties. I don't know any game that has that many different difficulties. That's crazy. But at times, the jump from one difficulty to another can be astronomical. Even though the game says and recommends this is the difficulty you should be playing on, there are certain levels, certain missions, certain combat scenarios where it feels like I'm really underleveled for this difficulty, and yet the game's recommending it. Led to a bit of frustration on my part. And finally, what I consider to be my biggest issue, the biggest negative, my biggest criticism when it comes to Agents of Mayhem. That ending. While I won't spoil the ending for you, I will say this. Mass Effect 3's ending. Controversial ending, I know. Didn't bug me that much, didn't really care for it. Agents of Mayhem's ending, on the other hand, legitimately pisses me off. It's one of those endings that just cuts, just ends the story, just stops the story, even though there are a metric butt-ton of plot threads that haven't been finished, questions that haven't been answered, character motivations that haven't been fulfilled. The game just fucking ends. It feels like nothing's been resolved. You haven't defeated Legion. Certain character relationships and even romances that were teased and built on don't see a conclusion. A lot of the agent-specific story missions, because each agent has their own specific story missions just for them, some of their stories don't get resolved, even though there was some really interesting and genuinely important stuff concerning the characters and the fate of the world in them. Hell, you don't even get to really see or fight or talk with the big bad leader of Legion, the Morningstar. There's not even a proper cliffhanger ending that teases a sequel or a DLC expansion or anything like that. The game just fucking ends. The ending of Agents of Mayhem legitimately pisses me off, and I hope, I pray that there are DLC expansions or epilogues that continue the story, or that we get a sequel. God, I hope we get a sequel to some continuation to the story, because the ending is so fucking abrupt, and does not not give a proper resolution to these characters or what's going on in the story in the world. Like, oh, that ending. Ooh. Ugh, it's rare that an ending to a video game bugs me this much, but Agents of Mayhem's ending, oh, really got to me. Anyways, well, that's that. Those are my thoughts, feelings, and opinions on Agents of Mayhem. Overall, I do genuinely really like the game for a lot of reasons, and I do recommend it, but to very specific gamers who know what they're getting into. Because Agents of Mayhem is a video game that's not going to be for everyone. This game is going to be very divisive in terms of its visuals, its gameplay, its story, what the game's about in terms of core mechanics, end game, goals, that sort of thing. So while I like Agents of Mayhem, I think it was worth the wait. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm definitely going to replay it. Maybe even take the time to max level some of my agents. Just know what you're getting into for Agents of Mayhem, because it may be for you, it may not be. Overall, I'm happy to see a new IP, a new franchise appear, especially one this colorful, this out there, this over the top, this experimental. I hope to see more of Agents of Mayhem in the future. Anyways, this has been a video. I hope you liked the video. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit the like button, if you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter, and Facebook. If you want to help out and support me directly, well, there's always Patreon. Also, please leave a comment in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on Agents of Mayhem? Have you played the game? Are you interested in the game? Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyways, guys, this has been a video, and I'll see you all later.